Shira, hi. Shira? Okay. The mail come at all?
No. What's the matter?
Waiting for Shira. I don't know if he's having the shirt. We're supposed to be 2, and then someone says we'd have a minute at 2. Or 2:30. That's what he said. Hi.
We're up to Seattle.
What happened? It was good, and I didn't watch much of it. I just the last few minute or two.
Oh yeah,
But-
there were too many penalties. It was crazy. The game was penalty after penalty after penalty.
I hear the referees were just terrible against Seattle.
They wouldn't let him play. It was
crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
Interference
that's right.
it was stupid.
I mean, they should have won, I guess, huh?
They should have.
Yeah.
But some of the guys were stupid. It's pretty obvious. But then some of it was just ticky tack.
Yeah.
Al Michaels, the announcer, said, "I might as well just give up and let the referee run the game."
Yeah. Crazy. I hope your Browns win tomorrow, then, huh?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna play quarterback. All the quarterbacks are injured.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. Well, okay.
The thing at the beginning, this guy Joe Flacco. Remember Joe Flacco?
Oh yeah, he was pretty good at the time.
Yeah, he's like 40 years old. They
got him
on
back.
mothballs.
Oh. I hope you get your money's worth, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you going to go by Uber, or are you going to take your car?
I'm going with my kids, so we have a whole bunch of people in the car. The parking's expensive.
I know, $75 or something.
I know, it's crazy. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, is that something? Well, they want to make it up, I guess, to pay for the stadium in the first year.
Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch to my iPad. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. There we are.
Yeah. Hope he shows up.
Yeah, I just saw him at the Minion.
Which you went to?
By Marciano.
Oh, Marciano. Oh, okay. When does he get up?
I don't know.
When did he start? You don't know when he started, City Shiva.
He started Wednesday, I think. Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'll go tomorrow. It's go Sunday then. Yeah.
Okay, we're on Chavches Amud Beis 28b. Review the Omer that if a barrel broke Rishus Harabim and somebody slipped, so Rabbi Yehuda said it's only been miskaven chayiv. It's only the guy who owned the barrel that broke in Rishus Harabim is only chayiv if he was miskaven, for example, to dump the water out or to break the barrel. Hey chidami, miskaven. Amar Rabba, b'miskaven lo rida lamata mikseifo. He was carrying the barrel on his shoulder. He was lowering the barrel off of his shoulder, and the barrel fell. Then Rav Yehuda agreed that he would be chayiv.
Well, that's not miskaven. That case would be miskaven.
Miskaven lo rida lamata b'kseifo v'nitkal, and like he tripped.
But that's not
Well,
miskaven
who's
to.
the
or
hotel?
not.
That's enough of a miskavein.
Uh,
Like him chayiv.
uh,
We consider nitkal posheyahu. Nitkal is like if you trip, slip and fall.
uh,
It's because you were negligent, you weren't careful. Amalei by Michlal, Shemechayev Rav Meir, the Tana Kama, who didn't say have anything to do with kavana, afilu nifshara. That means the barrel just sort of exploded on its own, which is oinus. That's like an accident. Yet Rav Meir's chayiv, Amalei in. Mechayev Rav Meir afilu oznabiyoda. Means the person was holding the barrel by a handle, which is the standard way, and the handle broke. That's an onus completely. Like Rashi says, it's an onus. It sort of broke by itself. It melted, and the handle ended up in his hand. Now the Gemara doesn't understand, Rav Meir, why would you be chayiv? Amai onasu. And there's a principle, onus rachmana patre. An accident that you're not negligent, you are potter from punishment. Dichsiv v'lanara lo taseh davar. We're talking about a girl who's raped out in the field. So she didn't participate, she was forced. And we don't punish her because it's an oinus. Okay, but we're talking about capital punishment. Maybe when it comes to paying for damages, you are chayiv for oinsin. Vatanya nishbra kado. If a jug broke, v'lo salko, and he didn't remove the pieces, or nafal gemalo, his camel fell to the ground, v'lo amiro, he didn't pick it up, the camel, and somebody tripped over it. Reb Meir mechayev bezekin. The chachamim omrim hoyt medinei adam. It's not bore. V'chay b'dinei shemayim. That he didn't clean up the pieces. Umorim chachamim Rav Meir b'avnei sakinu masor shenichen brosh kago. The chachamim agree to Rav Meir that if he left a knife or a stone or a burden on a roof, the nafla baruch mitzvah, and there was a prevailing wind and it fell, the zeker shulchayev. Umod Rav Meir Rabbanon, the Malakan Kanim, he had canteens that he wanted to dry out on Nas Lanagla, the naflu baruch she'emitzvah, and there wasn't any wind, but it fell by accident. Vigis vizik or shupoter. So you see Rav Meir, who's normally the machmir here, that if there's a pure oinus, you're potter. So what does it mean when Rabbi Yehuda says bekavana? El Omer Amaya, he rejects what Rabbah said, that Rav Meir and Rabbi Yehuda argue in our Mishnah by miskavein, betarti pligi. They're really arguing in two things. Pligi b'shas nefila. They're arguing a case where there's damage done while it's falling. Upliga la'achar nefila. And after the barrel falls and breaks into pieces, you can also have damage. Now, pligi b'shas nefila, regarding this issue of hanitka poshea or not. I mean, if you trip and you drop the barrel, or you try to move the barrel from your shoulder to your arm, are you a posheh or not? Mar savar nitkal poshehu. If you try to do something and it doesn't work, it's your pshia that caused it not to work, and you're chayv v'nizit. Umar Savar, Rabbi Yehuda holds nid kalaf v'chehu. If you trip, so you're not a pusher, and therefore you're not bichai. And fligi lachar nefila. Regarding mafkir nizakov, person drops a barrel in Rishus Harabim. Now there's pieces, and he mafkirs the pieces. Mar savar, a mafkir nizakov, something that is now of damaging nature. Even though you're mafkir it, if somebody gets injured, chayiv, even though it's not his anymore because he's mafkir it, his responsibility, at least regarding its ability to do damage, remains. Umar Savar, Potur, that if a person was mafkir his barrel that fell, he's Potur, because nobody owns it anymore. So umimai meditari tarti. Why do I say two different mitziases? That means b'shas nefila achar nefila, and whether or not the guy was mafkir or not, meditari tarti. The Mishnah itself gave two variations. Huchlak echad b'mayim. Somebody slipped on the water that it's filled. Oh, shalaka b'chreis. Now that happens right away. Shalaka b'chreisis, where somebody got injured with the splinters, that happens after. Right? Well, hainu ha. They seem to be similar. El alav achikamar. B'mai echa huchlak echa b'mayim b'shas nefila. Guy slipped on water right at that time when it dumped. Oh, shalaka b'chreisis lachar nefila. And if our Mishnah is talking about two cases, Baraisa, where we talked about the camel that fell and he didn't pick it up, is also B'tarti. B'shas nefila and after nefila. So Bishlama, I understand Kado, the Baraisa that talked about the jug breaking, Bishkachasla, b'shas nefila. It could do damage. Let's say if it was filled with water, so somebody could slip on it right then, or if the jug breaks into pieces, somebody could be damaged later on. So that would work. Elegmalo, but his camel, understand. I understand how somebody can get damaged after the camel fell. Or no, that he's mafkir it. So b'mafkir nivlosa. The camel fell, died. The carcass belongs to him, but he made it after. Because it's too much hassle to deal with the neveim. El b'shas tefilech mishkachosla. How can you say that the camel falling is negligence of the bailim? Amar Ravacha kagon shaver b'maya derech sharas denara. He and the camel crossed at a dangerous place, so he shouldn't have the camel walk there. So hechidami, so if there was another way across the river, then of course pushehu. If there's no other way across, then we're back to are onasu. The owner tripped. And then we had this discussion whether tripping is considered that this Baal Behema is a pusher or not. And then afterwards, at Kila Begam, then the camel tripped. So we go back to the discussion whether someone trips, is he a pusher or not? And then the way Abai explained the machlok is, it's B'mavkir Nizakov, where they Rabbi and Rav Yoda argue when he was mafkir his assets, then my miskavin ikka. Remember, Rav Yehuda says in the Mishnah that it's miskavin. What does kavanah have to do after the jug breaks? On Rav Yehuda miskavin l'schus bechrisis. He had kavanah to be zoiche in the pieces of the vessel that had broken. He was not mafkir his damaged items. It's only then when Rav Yehuda was Machai. Rav Ashi miskavin l'zakos b'chreisi. Rav Lezer Amar b'shat tefila machlokes. Rav Eliezer said that they're arguing at the time of the fall. Avalachon tefila mai. Divrei kol potter. Vayik Rav Meir shemachai. It's not true. It is a machlokes. Elamai divrei kol chai. Vayik Rabbanan de patri. Elamai b'shas tefila. What does it mean that the machlokes is at the time it falls? Af b'shas tefila. That there's it's not. It's af b'shas. Even by shas tefila they have a machlokes. Kamash v'lan ke Abaya. That Abaya set up the machlokes, whether it was at the time of the tefila or whether it was the time after the tefila. Rav Yochanan Lachar Nefila Machlokes. The Machlokes is only after it falls and breaks. So Aval B'Shas Nefila Mai Divrei Kol Potter. V'ad Midikam Rav Yochanan Lekamon. Rav Yochanan later on is going to learn. Lo Tevim Masnis and Rav Meiri. Shama Nitkal Poshehu. That it's a sheet of Rav Meir who says that somebody who trips is negligent. Michlal. Rav Meir Mechayev. And therefore we say it's a machlokes. Elamai divrei kol chai. V'ami de ka'amar Rav Yochanan kaman lo tevim aslisim Rav Meir shama niskal posher bichlal the pater rabban. It's not divrei kol. The chachamim pater. Elaha kamash v'lan. The case is mavkin nesaka. A person declared his assets to be ownerless. The hacho the pater rabban she'onasu. Chachamim say he's potter because it was an honest in the first place that he tripped. Abdul Mavkin is kafa the alma, but if a person not through oiness ends up being mavkir as nesakim mechayvi, he would say the din is chayv. Itmar mavkir nezaka. A person declares an item that is now a danger, and he left something which is sarabim, but he's mafkir it. Ravich Rabbi Lazar, Chadam Archayev, Chadam Potter. Leimaman Shem Chayev Savik Rab Meir Man Potik Rabbanon. Are they just following the machlokes Tanoim? No. Alibi Rab Meir Kolam Lo Pli. According to Rab Meir, everybody holds you bichai. Ki pligi Alibi Rabbanon. Man de Potter is Karabbanon. Man de Mechayev Amar Lecha. Another I feel Rabba. I will say it's chayiv even according to Rabbanon. Why? Ad kam lepat Rabbanon el b'mavkin nezak of the hacha. We're talking about a case where a guy dropped a jug, it broke into pieces, and he was mafkir those assets. Mishum she'anasu. It's a complete accident that he tripped. Avil mafkir nezak of the alma, but if he generally declared all of his assets ownerless, and they did damage, b'chayvi. Now, who was the one that said chayv? Who was the one who said pot? To stein Rav Elazar Ushamar chayv. Shom Elazar Mishmar Mishmar. Shnei dvarim einen b'shusa shalodam. There are two things that don't belong to the person, but v'ason hakosuk yehen b'shusa. But the Torah put it in your rishus to be mechayev for damages. Eloin bor shusa rabim. Right? The chametz, mishay shos l'mala. Chametz, after the 6 other days, is asr b'no. Something that's asr b'no has no value, and therefore he has no ownership of it. Yet you have a chiyuv to be mevayer it. So the Torah puts it in your rishus to be mevayer it. Same thing, a board dug in rishus harabim. You don't own the Rishus Harabim, but the Torah puts it in your Rishus. But to stay, that a person who declares his assets ownerless, he's chayiv. We're going to show Rabbi Lazar learns the opposite. It's not. A hoifech is a galal. You have dung from an animal. He turns it over. Rishus Harabim, and then he moves it to another place. V'huzak ben achin, a person got damaged. The one who moved it, chayiv ben nizko. Rabbi Lazar lo shana lo shniskave lezakus ben. You had to have kavanah to be zoiche in the dung. Avalon niskaven lezakus ben. If you didn't want to acquire it, potter. Alma shemavkir nisak of potter. That means if you don't have ownership over it, you're potter. Armada Barava, when Rav Potter was potter here, he didn't have kavanah to own it. It's shechzira limkoma. He moved it back to where it was. On Ravina, Marshal Rav Ada Barava Lamada V'Toymer. Lemotze bor magula. Person finds an open pit in Rosh Hashanah. V'chiso. He covers it. And then Chazer v'gilcho, then he himself went ahead and uncovered it. He's not responsible fully. He just returned the matzav to where it was before. The achrayus is still on somebody who opened up the bore. Armele Marzuta braid Rav Mary Ravina mi dami. They're not comparable. Hasam lo istalaklu. The boy didn't get rid of just by covering it. My Sarisha. Even though he covered the boar is still there. Hacha, by the dung, istaliklu, he moved it. And he changed the Maisarisha. So if you want to have a comparison, haludami, elamotzi bor magula v'timna. Well, it might be similar to, you found a bor b'shus arabi, and you filled it up with dirt. And then after that, chazer v'chafa, then you dug it again. Distalkulu amaisa. The original digger of the bore, he's no longer in the picture. Hamaisa rishon the kaimela b'shuso, and it now the bore is in the rishus of the second guy. So he has to be chayiv. Elam Ravashi kishav chalapachos mishloisha. He moved the dung less than 3 tfachim. It's not called moving it. So it says he didn't change it at all. He didn't change the original state. What forced Rabbi Lozer to learn that way? The time of the chiniskavin l'zakuspa, and that if he had a kavanah to acquire the dung, he'd be chai. But halom iskavin l'zakuspa lo. Why not set it up lukma lamala mishloisha? It was originally, he moved it more than 3 tvachim. Va'afagav the lo niskavin l'zakuspa chayiv. By moving it and creating a new reality, even if he doesn't have kavanah to be mizaka, he'd be chayiv. The reason why he didn't learn that, Amarav Masnisin Kashise, the Mishnah was kasha to learn. My area hafach, listening igbia. If you're going to say move it up 3 tvachim, you could say igbia. Ella, you didn't say igbia, and therefore, the concept that if he was magbia, he would be acquired through a kinyan, shmami na, call hefech lamata mishloishu. Whenever we use the word hefech, it means you did not move it more than 3 tfachim. Now you prove from Eliezer Omar that if a person declares his assets ownerless in Rishus Harabim and it does damage, Yechayiv. So what? Rav Yochanan Omar Potter? Did Rav Yochanan say that? But not. There's a thorn or piece of glass and you hide it. Or a goiter gidra b'koitzin. Somebody who planted thorn bushes on his gate. Or and a gate fell in Shusarabi Wuzik band. And the person tripped or got damaged through any of these. Chayiv b'nisko. He's chayiv. But on Rav Yochanan, loy shanu, when you fenced in with thorns, ela b'mafriach. That's when the thorns are pointing into the Rishus Harabim. Aval b'mitzam say, if you make sure that the thorns point into the Rishus HaYochid potter. Mitzamse, my time of Potter, La Mishum Davile Kibor B'Shuso. It's like him digging a bore in his own backyard. Umechlal the chiyuva b'bor b'shus harabim. And when we said there was a chiyuv to pay, that's when the bor was b'shus harabim. Alma shemavkin zakav chayiv. That even though he declares his assets ownerless, he's chayiv. Certainly the thorns he declared ownerless. Versus lo emin l'chamavkin zakav potter. Really, he'll hold. He's not forced to learn that you're chayiv. What's the case of mitzamtzem by the thorns in the gate? My time of potter, not because of bor b'shuso. El b'shum yitmar Allah. Am Ravacha ben Ravika. L'fishein darkan shel bnei adam l'schakek b'ksoli. People stay away from adorned walls. Now, if a person sort of tripped in the thorns there, it's not a normal ma'isa. It's unusual, and the Bala Geder is not chai for it. Did Rav Yochanan say, Amar Rav Yochanan, halacha kestam mishnah. The halacha is always like an anonymous mishnah. Utnan. Hachoy for a bor b'shus, somebody dug a bor b'shus harabim. V'nafal l'sochas shorach hamor v'meis. And somebody's ox or donkey fell and died, chayiv. So you're not mashma, you're chayiv for something that you don't have a kinyan with. So la'olam Rav Yochanan de Omar, that even though you were mafkir, you're the zok of chayiv. So if Rav Yochanan's chayiv, so Rav Eliezer potter. So what the Baal Plukta of Rav Eliezer would say potter from Rav Eliezer, Yishum Rav Yisrael, that you're chayiv on board. Loi kasha hadidei. It's his own opinion that you're potter from assets that don't belong to you. Hadirabe. And then Rabbi Shmuel who held that you're chayiv for damages. Even though the person himself is not a Russia. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to learn the Daf Yomi after the Navi Shir, because I'm on the other side of town. So it's going to take me some time to get back. So the Navi Shir will be 7, and we'll do the Daf Yomi at 8.
Okay, shkoyach.
Thank you.
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom. Enjoy yourself. Bye.
Shabbos, everybody. Shabbos.
What time is Shabbos?
Direct TV
All
Sports.
right. I'll call her in. Bertha, can you come here, please? So 4:25 is Shabbos? So,
Here, one second. I'll put it right out.
what?
I'm just gonna check with that one, too.
I don't know how much money we owe you. You know how much money we owe you? Tell me how much money. How much money? I don't know. The hours, like the hours.
Yeah, how many hours? Huh?
Friday,
Yeah,
I make it 5 more.
okay, that's Friday.
Yeah, the Friday,
Yeah.
5 hours more. And then Saturday, 9 to 9.
Okay, 12 hours.
More 5.
But, huh?
More 5.
5 is, yeah.
9 is
Saturday, 9 to 9, it's 12 hours.
12.
17.
Friday, 5.
Yeah, okay.
Today coming 9, 11. No, 10. Coming 10 today.
Okay.
1 hour more. I don't know what time it is. Go. What?
I guess so.
Only pay 6 hours for today.
Oh,
And
so
then-
it's 14 hours, yeah. Total 14 hours.
Yeah.
Well, what about the other days? When Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, she told you.
Oh, but I pay her the regular amount. She was here all week. You
You
hear
hear her ask?
Oh, yeah, regular with whole week.
Yeah, regular. It's only Friday night.
Huh?
Friday night for 5 hours. Pay. You pay regular, right?
I
Last week. You pay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I pay for only 5 hours for last shot. 5 hours Friday and 12
12
hours.
hours, 17. And you took 3 hours short, right? 3 hours. Okay.
Today,
So
today
sport-
only 6 hours.
So 14 hours? 14 hours, okay?
Yeah,
14
Uh-huh.
hours, okay. Okay, good.
And Bertha, I think I want another beer.
okay.
I think this morning.
It's I got the pineapple today,
Oh, good, thank you.
fresh today, salad.
Okay, good. Okay.
No have more bed,
More in the back?
no more paper plate.
No more paper plates? Yeah.
No, this.
Good.
This have a lot.
Huh?
This have a lot.
Yeah, okay.